You didn't hit me up by physically writing me a letter because this is post-lease, which means whatever research, this is about taxes, okay? I'm looping you out because we good, we here. Whatever research that we doing is after taxes. I moved in August. I'm questioning my moving date, which is between the 12th to the 14th.
I wasn't here on your moving date. I didn't manage this building. That's first of all.
Okay.
And Miss Arisha, you have been recertified since 2020. The last lease you signed was in 2022.
The agency was the one that stopped the checks. Okay, that's number one. No, I know. I'm saying the agency. This agency right here. And why don't we go back? The reasons why. A, I didn't research because you stopped the check without notifying me first and without notifying HRA. 2, I didn't research because I didn't do renew my lease because guess what? Once again, you stopped the checks. I found out that you stopped the checks before my motherfucking illimp, before I almost died in this bitch 2 years ago, and then last year. So I need to know why. Now, you may not have stopped the checks, but the agency did, and the agency knew that I was on. Everything is about taxes. So what the agency is doing is, well, she didn't do this, we gotta bar her. They already knew, once HRA gets this, that's it. You cannot tell me to get the fuck stepping because HRA has to be involved. Well, I'm not saying you personally, but the agency knows that they're getting money from HRA and they received my $9,000 before.
I don't know anything about the HRA, but you haven't recertified 2023, 2024.
That's not my fault.
2025.
That's not. I'm gonna let you go ahead and finish.
Yes, 2023, 2024, 2025, and we put you on notice that you haven't recertified.
Now, once again, what happened that caused this notice? Because what I'm thinking is y'all trying to discredit me, like my beloved Poppy, People versus Smith. You see this coat right here? You know that this is government. This is government coat. So when you went up to the judge and you committed some 2106, oh well, all these times I was physically sick. Okay, before the illimp, you knew that Miss Johnson, she's calling. Hey, what the agency didn't do was go, wait a minute, Miss Johnson almost died in here, so why don't we go ahead? She's the only one that in this whole agency can get that 214 of Saul of, okay, we know she's on top of her shit. We know that we sent, I'm not making any income, budget letters, all this and that. So now APS is pissed off because APS is going, you can't do that before and after her taxes. This is an illimp, and this is trying to discredit. So what you need to do is hit up the Manhattan branch and go, listen, this is a counterclaim. It don't matter how many, it don't matter, no. Physically typewritten notices is not the same as physical written notices. So I'm going through my scopes right now to see how many times between 2022 and now that, Miss Johnson has to research. Please come downstairs to research before I almost died in here. And if that's the case, I still have before and after adversary.
And then you did not recertify we lost your whole subsidy. Miss. You didn't recertify with HPD, so we have no subsidy.
And HPD, they're in some shit with me because again, this is taxes regarding HPD. HPD is HUD. HUD and HPD was founded back in 1978. Everything is founded the year that I was born. So when HUD gets this and when HPD is also in some mess, guess what? Oh, she's right. This is about her taxes. Now, I have no problems with recertifying. But but the IRS is on this, and this agency is going to get audited with the IRS because you don't want to give me back my $9,000 at before and after anniversary. I know too much shit about this, about laws, about going no. I'm the only one that says, guess what? This Miss Johnson is the only one. She should be non-exempt because she has that time to recertify or renew her lease. And I told Darlene, I said, I don't care. I don't give a rat's ass about renewing my lease. But when you commit in some kind of perjuries and you go each and every time, maybe there was reasons. Maybe Miss Johnson says, wait a minute, and HPD is in some shit with me too. So when HPD get this, they're gonna go, it was our fault. We have to reopen her recertification. Not only that, but recertification is HUD. What you can't do is pull some sort of HR with the tenants, especially me, and say, oh, you have to have, because of caps, because the agency knew who I was before I moved in here when I was at 1921 Jerome. Okay, so that you may not have met me until after. Okay, so I know, that's why I said, listen, I don't, whatever have you, because when it comes to the taxes and when the agency gets hit, it ain't on me. This is about taxes. This is about me almost dying in here. Most importantly, this is about violating my HR. So you may not know, oh, we've sent you notice after notice. There's 12 months in a year. I'm the only one that should have said, the agency should have said, guess what? She has this time to renew her lease. That's it.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
At this point, what could be done?
I don't know. Warren is going to, we're requesting the warrant for her eviction.
Okay. Now the eviction is for June 1st. What is my moving date? August. Should I get my original lease? August.
No, that's the difference. The judge has to order the warrant.
The judge
I don't order warrant.
Right.
No, I know the judge. What HRA is going to say is we were the ones that instructed Miss Johnson not to go to the courthouse. That and APS came. APS came on yet again on April 27th. I can give you the supervisor's number.
I don't know who you
now
spoke to.
Two judges are in some trouble with me because guess what? Miss Johnson didn't come to the virtual. Miss Johnson, HRA is going to say Miss Johnson was not allowed because we were helping. It was our fault that Miss Johnson went behind on the arrears. We stayed her case. It was your fault because you knew at the time that Miss Johnson was in a hospital. So
this is my other question. So HRA is aware that you're in court, and they instructed you not to appear in court
because the first time with the arrears.
Okay.
Now I'm speaking with HRA APS now, the supervisor, and she's saying this is frustrating because your failure to renew and to recertify your lease, that is optional on all parties. So once I explained to the judge, since I don't know how long before I moved in here, guess what? Because of this hearsay, guess what? Well, the judge, back in 2012 or every single time when we've been in, budget cuts and all this, that we didn't want neither party to get the failure to renew and the failure to recert. So the tenants is the one that says, hey, listen, if Ms. Johnson says, guess what? I'm ready, let's do this. I've been ready. Let's do this. Fine, no problem. I ain't got no problems with this. But the judge is going to get audited, and this is going to ICE. So they're going to sit there and go, why are you issuing that? You violating her HR. The agency did not give her physically written notes to recertify. This is all oral, okay? That's out. So all your witnesses are out. All your witnesses are impeached. I have no problems renewing my lease. I have no problems recertifying.
So are you saying you're not aware that you're supposed to renew your lease every year?
No, I'm aware that I'm supposed to renew my lease every year, but this is post-lease, which means y'all can't get after me for post-lease. My moving date, Darlene just explained, that's different. Your moving date is different from, can you re-explain? So,
No, your moving date is your moving date. Okay? I can't remember off the top of my head.
What was explained to you about the move-in date?
I have my original lease from the moving
Right.
date. That is August 1st, I believe.
Right.
I moved in, I believe, between the 12th and the 14th because I had to wait for HRA.
Okay.
I don't know enough about that because I wasn't here at the time of moving.
Okay.
Okay? So I can't speak on that. I'm only speaking that she has not recertified since 2000.
And the reasons were she was in the hospital. She did it twice. When you guys came to me last year, I'm willing to renew. I'm willing to research, especially when you came in with Heath. I'm willing to renew. I'm willing to what? Boom, boom, boom. And all of a sudden you stop before and after taxes.
She lost her Section 8.
Right.
Okay. Yes.
And they're in the lawsuit with me too. HPD is in the
Because
lawsuit
I
with me too.
remember when you came home from the hospital, and I remember when we met with you, because I know we were trying to get access to your HR information, and that's when we found out that your case was closed and all that stuff.
I didn't even know that until I got that terminated, and that is also in the lawsuit too. That's on this.
Because your information from the HRA is a part of the information that's needed for the lease renewal. So by not providing that, that's under the assumption that you're not cooperating with the lease.
And
renewal.
HRA knows because the HRA is also involved with this. Is a counterclaim, so the judge is getting this counterclaim as well. I'm personally lawsuiting the judge.
But that's what I was trying to explain to you yesterday. HRA has nothing to do with your lease renewal here.
So why?
Nothing to do with that process.
So that's secluded.
Right. Whatever benefits and everything that you do with HRA, like as far as like your food stamps, income, or like your Medicaid and stuff, that's with HRA. But your lease renewal and everything, the information we need from HRA from your budget for your lease renewal.
Okay, that's where it's contradictory. Then it's the scope that you need for HRA. I ain't got no problems recerting with HRA. I ain't got no problems. But here's the thing. HPD cannot force recipients to recert before and after taxes.
They can't force you, but you signed your lease. And
exactly.
Signing your lease and all those other documents, you agreed to renew your
and
lease.
You agreed to renew your lease. That's where you agreed to give your recertification packet to HPD. So
now when HPD get this, HPD is going to say, okay, for some obvious reason she changed her mind, but she still has HRA. That's what I'm thinking. Signing the that's what I'm thinking.
Those are separate, Ms. Johnson.
That's what I'm saying. Everything is secluded, so that's what everything makes everything so contradictory. Because listen, Ms. Johnson, when you speak to the judge, you say, listen, Ms. Johnson, we spoke to Ms. Johnson.
But I won't speak to the judge
at this point. There's no conversation with the judge.
I can't speak to the judge anymore.
Well, the reports that I've been making, in fact, on Monday, when Monday comes, I'm filing a counterclaim against the judge because this is before and after taxes. This is this is all you have to, all shares. Now, what I have to do is go, guess what? When APS claims, guess what? She's ineligible for APS. That stops everything.
Why are you ineligible for APS?
Because they're saying we believe 100% of what Ms. Johnson is saying and what Ms. Johnson is claiming. This is about her taxes. This is about whether or not she received notifications. It was optional, and if she refused to research HUD for this agency, there were reasons that she refused. As long as she had HRA, which is secluded, then that was all that was needed. And APS is saying, well, you're right. Failure to renew is optional, but they still have because they are still continuing to get services from HRA. Now, when it comes,
you are receiving services from HRA. The agency is not. What I just wanted to make sure that you understand is us HRA and HPD
It's secluded.
Is right. We're all separate, but we all need information from each other.
Okay,
Like,
I have no problems with that.
In order to do your housing, that they all play a part in your housing.
I have no problems with that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have no problems. You want to come up next week? You want to?
No, but that's the thing. At this point, I just wanted to make sure you understand what was going on.
That part I understood, but the fact that that the agency went ahead without notice and thinking, wait a minute, this is about taxes. Now the agency is in some mess.
No. The lease renewal part, I can't speak on what's going on with HPD and stuff, but the lease renewal part that Darlene's trying to do, it has nothing to do with your taxes. It's the simple fact that you didn't submit your documents to start
from 23, and the reason, and despite the fact that I was hospitalized, that's involuntary, that's out. That was twice, because I do my homework on these judges, and these judges ain't right. So I was involuntary hospitalized twice, which meant that I was physically sick because it was my hemoglobin before it was time for me to research. So I didn't even know that it was my hemoglobin until I was collapsing all over the place and I was admitted at Monty. So that right there, the agency has to buy me back that time to say she didn't, we knew that she was in the hospital. Right. Now Ms. Johnson is saying, okay, now because you, the agency, are demanding HPD, which is HUD, to research, and whatever reason Ms. Johnson is saying they don't get that, as long as I have a subsidy, that should all that matters. That's what the problem is.
The only subsidy is HPD. HRA is not your subsidy.
So that's why, so HPD is also I'm also filing counterclaims against them.
Because your subsidy, the larger portion of your rent comes from HPD,
and
not
it's terminated.
HRA pays a portion of your rent.
Until I call, like I did back in the day when I had my SSA, and I reported that. So now when it comes to research, when it comes to the taxes, now you have to give me back what I paid. Because even that gal said, no, this is her remedy. She needs her SARS. She needs her taxes besides the rent renewal and the rent lease. But I'm questioning. Now I understand a bit. Everything is secluded, but it doesn't matter because HPD, when HPD closed my case, guess what? That was about my taxes. So they are in some mess with me.
Yeah, but we can't,
so
I can't. I can't, like, it's nothing that I can.
I'm surprised at the fact that the judge, when it comes to me, I don't give a fuck about nobody else, but when the judge comes to me, should have said, wait a minute, this is about her taxes, and this is about her, yes, she was hospitalized, yes, she had all these reasons, but she still should have been given notice, physical written documents that said, on top of the written documents, that says, Ms. Johnson, she this is HPD, which is HUD, this is secluded from HRA. Now when HRA get this, and when I speak with the supervisor from APS, they still going to be pissed off. And they're going to more than likely call the courthouse and say, no, this is about her taxes. She deserves whatever time she needs to renew her lease.
Okay. So, all right, with the HPD portion, have you ever received your packets and stuff? I
still have, excuse me, I still have my packet from 24. Okay. Now, that's...
So
and that was when I didn't renew it. I'm sorry. And I didn't renew it was when I was hospitalized.
Right, but you still had time. So this is what I want you to understand. The way they're looking at it, they understand that you were hospitalized, but you still had time to follow up. It's at the point where you can't follow up because you've been not submitting your documents for all these years. So it's like it's at the point where you lost it, and you're not going to be able to reinstate your HPD. You're at that point.
Well, if that's the case, then that's why HPD is in some mess.
But I understand your point of view of it.
I'm also trying to understand why this was a dire need situation. It doesn't matter how many times, oh, she didn't do this, she didn't do that, she didn't do that. She still showed, okay, well, if somebody said this was it's a matter of HPD, then guess what? then we need to have a conversation with HPD, and HPD is going to get into some mess and say, wait a minute, this is on us, she's right, this is about taxes, this is about her getting that information. We have to reinstate her HPD.
But that's what I'm saying. They're not going to reinstate
So if they,
because since it's been so many years of attempting to get information from you, is at the point that it's not going to be reinstated.
and that's why HRA is in some. I'm sorry. That's why all
HPD.
That's why all subsidies are in some mess with this counterclaim.
Okay.
It's a counterclaim against third parties.
But I can't do any, my hands are tied.
I just wanted us to make sure we
Like-
can have a conversation with you so you can understand the point
So-
where you're at as far as with HPD and the court status.
So
and
why
everything.
would that? That part I get,
Okay.
but the part that I'm still trying to understand is I need that judge's form. I need that judge's because I'm gonna cuss her out. I got all my cocks. What is doing and a lot of and I'm doing my digging on your lawyer's office. I've also been on the phone with